Hello, I'm Aubrey Shepherd, and we've got a bunch of pictures to look at, so let's see if we get right into them today. And this is the 2nd of November 2010. Well, there's some wildflower mix at World Peace Wetland Prairie, and there's a butterfly, a monarch butterfly, just a few days ago flying over World Peace Wetland Prairie, and I cropped to get it that close because it really wasn't close to me at all. There's a swamp milkweed. I've shown you these pods, not the same shot, not the same exact condition, but some of the same mass of swamp milkweed. That's Asclepias incarnata going to seed. And when you see them open like that, that's the time to collect you some of the seed and take them to put in your own garden, because they will blow away pretty fast. That's Interstate 540, and I didn't ask anybody just why they were doing this, but they were dredging out the ditch between the interstate and the service road, which I'm behind the service road looking west or southwest slightly there. And you can see how deep the machine went down in there, and that with some of the prairie dirt being dug out. This is an ice formation. I like to just call them ice flowers. And this was the first heavy frost we had this fall. And you can see those beautiful forms. Those are actually stems that have been cut off, but they still had the ability to produce those ice flowers. The name of the plant those are on is Verbesina virginica, and it's a beautiful tall plant, 6-7 feet tall, maybe a little more in really good rich wet ground. And there you can see one of those plants was actually still in bloom, and so I took some of the ice from around its stem and held it up to show you the flowers. So that's the fall combination of ice flower and the flower that grows from the Verbesina virginica. And there's one showing ice at the base and flowers going to seed at the top, just to give you a sense of proportion. That thing's taller than I am. Okay, another ice flower. I had to run a bunch of these today because you don't get the combination of still in bloom and ice flowers forming. Some people call this a frost weed, and really it's a frost flower, because it's not when ice falls, it's when the frost forms around the stem from the moisture there. Well, that's a very important, a member of a very important family of tiny asters, late blooming tiny asters in the fall. In many areas there are lots of those, and that's the only thing that the migrating monarchs can find to get some nectar as they go toward Mexico in fall. Well, if you didn't vote for David Whitacre, I'm sorry, I did, and there's one of the reasons. He's very much committed to protecting Social Security. So by the time you see this, you'll know the outcome of the election, but however many votes David got, I'm one who voted for him. Trail of Tears sign, for some reason down there on South Garland Avenue, you can see MLK Boulevard in the background. They had all that sandy soil spread out there, and there was a lot bigger pile the day before. I went a day after it rained. Well, you're looking out the window, but you're actually looking through two windows, because you're looking through a brood box for monarch caterpillars, and that one's curled up. That means he's about to become, or it's about to form a chrysalis. So as I speak, that butterfly is, that caterpillar is a chrysalis. And here the 3 people from the senior center on Halloween, and some of them were costumed quite a bit. There's a book I want to recommend, Joe Neal's Birdside Baptist, and it's a compilation of some wonderful essays that he's written, most of them right after he returned from an outing where he was birding, sometimes with a lot of people, sometimes alone. And there's some comments about it from Jacqueline Freilich, and another from Kelly Chitwood. So these these are wonderful essays, and it's not an expensive book. It would be a good Christmas gift or a birthday gift for someone. Well, by the time you see this, even that remainder that you see in the photo is probably totally down. That's the old co-op's old grain elevator that was raised in South Fayetteville. Okay, that is a confused caterpillar. That is not a monarch caterpillar. It's some kind of moth. I have still not identified it. It was climbing on a milkweed. Apparently it transferred from the vine, you can see the vine growing around the milkweed, and got on the wrong plant. So I ended up having to feed it some of the, make sure it got back to eating the morning glory vine that is its host plant. As monarch has to have milkweed, this critter has to have morning glory or something in that family. There's a butterfly. I can't tell you for sure the species, but it was in its last, on its last legs, and you can see the wings damaged, and it was down on the concrete on a cold morning, or on the blacktop, and I held it up, let it walk up on my finger, and then shortly after that it flew away up onto a roof where it could get more sunshine. Okay. Yep, there's the man who delivered the balloons for my birthday. There's Lauren Hawkins and me, the old person that's right. And that was just a terrific thing for a 70-year-old to have balloons for his birthday. Won't happen again. But the trick-or-treaters loved them. They stayed out in the driveway through through Halloween night, and the blowing in the wind, and those kids loved them. Here's the picture I shared from some other angles, but those are the trees that were removed down in South Fayetteville by the power company. Till next time, this is Aubrey Shepherd asking you to do your part to help keep the water clean, the air pure, and the woods green. See ya.